All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about trailblazing. All right, so a trailblazer is someone who creates a pathway. Now, that pathway through the wilderness, through wild country, is usually created by following the lay of the land, the terrain, knowing where the natural pathways are. Okay, so I'm going in this direction, and for this section of my trail, there was a deer they've already got a little trail here, so I'm going to follow the deer trail for a while, and I'm going to blaze my trail by cutting a white spot where there's an absence of bark into a tree, and I'm going to know so I can retrace my footsteps so I don't get lost, and so that other people can follow me to where I'm going. Right, so blazing a trail it's for explorers. It's for just regular people trying to go from settlement A to settlement B, right? Blazing trails is about creating a pathway, and that pathway becomes more intricate, more involved, more effectively labeled and constructed as time goes on. Okay, so we usually think of trailblazers as, the titans of industry, people like Fleming with antibiotics or with penicillin, or Bill Gates with personal computers and business computing. Bill Gates allowed a lot of people to make fortunes and to make fools of themselves too, but so much money was made off of Bill Gates' ideas because he cut that initial knock in the trees, and other people came after him, widening the path, hanging up signs and directions and all sorts of things, creating traps and places where they can hold people up. All sorts of things happen along the pathways, the pathways in life, I guess. So, trailblazing is about creating that pathway, and it's a metaphorical space that can apply to almost anything. Okay? So you don't have to, create the next penicillin that neutralizes MRSA resistance or MRSA-resistant bacteria and saves lives. You don't have to do that to be a trailblazer. You don't have to create, cheap, distributable force fields that kind of neutralize violence in all its forms by creating personal shielding. Well, I guess all its current forms. To be a trailblazer, you don't have to have this world-changing idea as far as the greater society or something. You just have to have an idea that changes your life. You just have to want to go into a wilderness of your own. It could be the wilderness of abuse. Cutting away all the brambles and vines and filling in the pitfalls of the pathway that you were set upon from your youth or from your birth. And you can change that pathway by going through and confronting in a myriad of constructive ways the wilderness of abuse. You can forge new pathways of dietary choices. Now, being a trailblazer isn't easy. You want to have as many tools and things that you can bring with you to help as possible. You want ideas, you want implements, you want everything you can possibly imagine when you go out there into the wilderness. Right? So that's kind of what Energy versus Essence is here for. To not manufacture the tools for you, but to point you in the direction where you can go get some tools. Like Jeff Olson with the Slight Edge, or James Redfield. Don Miguel Ruiz, Lindsay C. Gibson. These people are trailblazers that not only blaze the trails, but they give you the implements to blaze your own trails. They give you the tools to go into your own wilderness and fight for a new high-speed roadway for your thoughts and for your actions. All right? Excuse me. So, I don't want to get too, talkative about it, but find the things in your life, the chaos, the uncertainty, the dissatisfaction, the shame. Find all those uncomfortable things that correspond to certain pathways in your life. Because where those things lie, that's where the pathways are overgrown. Even if they're pathways that you created yourself, they're overgrown, they're not working. You're not getting, the places that you're getting to aren't worth going to. Because there's a few ways that you can form pathways. There's a few reasons or ways that you set out to form pathways, I guess. So you go off into that wilderness because you know there's a place on the other side. However, whatever kind of terrain you got to work your way through, there's a place on the other side that you know that you want to reach. So you have a destination. All right? That's one way. Now the second way is you go off into that terrain because you don't want to continue on that path that you're on now. And somewhere along the way, as you cut your path and mark your trail, you're going to find that new place that you want to be. Okay? That's what trailblazing is about. Finding new ideas that uplift our spirit, that uplift the human being in us, and that allow us to uplift others and bring others along to that new place. If they're on a pathway of brambles and pitfalls, which a pitfall, by the way, is like a tiger trap. You dig a big ass pit, you put spikes in it, and then you cover it up with leaves and really, really small branches. So when a tiger walks across it, a magnificent animal that knows himself, knows what he wants, it falls and lands on those spikes. A lot of the pathways out here that young people, old people, all kinds of people are walking have tiger traps on them, have pitfalls. The Kardashians, Trump, they all got you walking along these pathways, and there's certain things about the path that are just regular. There's certain things about the path that everybody should want on their path. There's directions. Looks like there's stop-off places for you to have a little camping experience and be safe, feel like you're safe. But trust me, some of these pathways have some serious pitfalls. If I may digress, all right, from blazing your own trails, because that's what comes of following other people's trails. All right, so someone who is a trailblazer knows what makes a good trail. So a trailblazer will be better at following someone else's trail. And they'll know to look out for the telltale signs, even no matter how small they are, of a pitfall. Or a place where there's a fallen tree and multiple fallen trees. So there might be snakes. Okay? So I don't really have too much else to say about it. That's kind of what I wanted to say. Go out there and blaze some new trails, you know, new habits, better way of looking at things. But as always, approach with caution. Analyze the trail that I'm trying to lead you on with all my videos and content. Okay? Because maybe my pathway is not for you. Maybe the tools that I'm trying to present won't be effective. Maybe they will be. All right? If you think that the content I'm putting out so far is good, if you appreciate it, if it's done something good for you like it did for me, and is doing for me, then like, subscribe, all that stuff. Please share the information, and as I say, tune in again, and in the meantime, tune into yourself.